Yo, what's going on, fam? So I told y'all that I was gonna follow up with you um, in reference to my traffic stop that happened back on the 9th of this month of December. Um, so after the stop, what I wanted to do was get some body camera footage and also dash cam footage from the incident. The only time I do that is if I feel as though the officers may have conspired to do something. Now, during that encounter, I also went live. I don't know. I kind of look at it like, if I feel as though the traffic stop could have only taken maybe 5 minutes or so, but it took like 30 minutes, then I feel as though, what could you possibly be talking about in that amount of time? So that's why I wanted to request for some body camera footage so that I can see from their point of view what they saw and what they were saying. So later on, I'm actually going to post the video up from Officer Marcucci's body cam and his lieutenant, which was named, I think it was Lieutenant Jenkins, I'm not sure, but I'm going to also post his body camera footage. Now, the other officers that were out there, they were kind of irrelevant, but, I kind of got to hear some of the stuff they were saying, some of the things that they were conspiring to, especially this one officer out there, this black officer that was out there. He was like, the super Sambo. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, oh, well, let's just do this. Oh, let's just, just write him a ticket up and he just let the judge deal with it, Like, come on, dude. Luckily for me, he wasn't the one who initiated the stop, or that whole situation could have went worse. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show a little small segment of that video from Lieutenant Jenkins' body camera footage from when he arrived on the scene. And this was after he had the initial contact with me and went back to his vehicle. And according to the law that I gave him, he looked it up. And I want you to hear the interaction that the lieutenant had with the officer. And in this video, I want you to see the officer's face after the lieutenant pretty much told him that everything was good to go. I mean, there were some things that I disagreed with on how the lieutenant handled the situation, but for the most part, when he told them what his findings were, when he put the law in and he looked it up, which was on Google. That's all you got to do. Go on Google, man. Google will tell you a whole bunch of stuff. You should see the face of the other officer. Like, he just felt so just destroyed. Like, life had just ended for him at that moment. But it's real interesting. But when you see this video, check it out. Let me know what you think.
There's nothing in here about having to show, the way in which you go about proving that you're a private detective. I don't see anything in here. Like, it doesn't say you have to keep it on you at all times or anything like that.
My thing is, state law prohibits tinting your windshield.
Right, so he has a reason to stop you all day long.
If you don't have an ID that shows that you have the authority to do so, then you're guilty of tinting your windshield. And I think there's only a specific area that can be tinted though. I don't think you can tint your whole windshield.
That's not the way that it seems to be written.
What do you mean?
It says you can't have light reducing material attached to the windshield.
It says you cannot.
It says you can't.
Yes.
But that's in chapter B. But C says the provisions of B are in effect unless one of these exemptions is true. And one of those exemptions is being a private detective. It doesn't give any limitations on what you can do as a private detective. It just gives you an exemption to have it on your windshield.
Okay, but until he proves he's a private detective, he's violating the law.
Agreed, but here's the thing. If you're going to ride under that exemption, why not just tell the officer when it starts up, hey, look, I'm a PI, and due to so-and-so, I can have this. That would have changed a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We'd be out here with 4 diesels
Right.
standing around.
It's ridiculous. So the exemption for private eyes does not specify how much you can have on the windshield, but it does allow you to have it on the windshield.
Does he have his license?
So he has a picture on his cell phone of, it looks like a screenshot from a computer or something. And I told him, I said, that's really not any better than having a picture of your driver's license on your phone.
Does it say what the percentage can be on the sides?
It did not. No. I mean, I think he probably can do it, but you don't have to show out like this to prove a point. You know, he could have just told you, hey, I'm a private detective.
But there's nothing specific that says the windshield?
Yeah, it says you cannot have light diminishing material on the windshield unless you fall under one of these exemptions, and one of the exemptions is being a private detective. So he can have it, and it doesn't seem to be limited as to what he can have on the windshield, unless I'm overlooking something. But, I mean, you know, you have every reason to stop him. He had every reason not to act the way he's acting. But
Yeah, I've stopped PIs before, and it's never been like this.
Yeah.
So, and I still don't know who the guy is. I mean, I don't know if you matched his picture with his ID, but I was telling him, I don't know if there's 2 people in the car or 7 people in the car.
So you ran him, everything came back good?
I ran this thing through dispatch and this tag through the laptop.
Gotcha. All right.
But
Is he the registered owner?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
1253 to avoid anything.
Should I write him for interfering?
I say still cite him for the tenant. Let judge, let him show his credentials to the judge.
Step out and sign
The windshield?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. He refuses to step. I know. We've had that conversation. He's got 2 small girls in the car. I said, if you need to step out of the vehicle, the way to do it is just to do it and not make us make you do it.
So can I write him for interfering with police? City ordinance? Because we got 5 people here just because he went. If he would identify himself, my traffic stop would have been over in a minute and 30 seconds.
Right.
Valid. And then technically, I mean, I don't know. I still feel technically. You say you ain't seen his face. He just gave you an ID, so.
You still haven't seen his face?
No.
I saw his face.
I was like,
And, you know, I think it's him.
1238,
Can I say
copy,
100%? No. Hey, he's trying to prove a point. He's got his camera rolling, and he's on, like, Facebook Live
Give me
or
a
something
1050,
similar.
Tammy Trace, and South Highway 92. Tammy Trace, South Highway 92. And so, responded to this accident for a white F350 and a red Ford Fusion. Advised that it occurred within the city limits. They're requesting the city unit to be around. What's that address again?
Hey, sir, we'll have this wrapped up in a few minutes.
Just near the intersection of Tandy, Trace, and South Highway 92, the Kingswood subdivision.
we're going to. I think it's just time. It's very, very expensive. We're looking at about $1,100 a piece. So I think they'll probably do it in waves. Probably see the first ones. Hopefully in the next few months. They replaced 3 of them.
Did you see what I was talking about? So, in the video, what you just saw was the lieutenant dispelling any suspicions that I had committed a crime or some type of traffic offense or whatever. He dispelled all of that. Okay? Now, when he walked back over there to talk to Officer Marcucci, the other officer that you see to his left, the bald-headed gentleman, you know, he's like, did he have his license? Like, he buttoned in. He wasn't even the one who pulled me over. All of them out there, they all done put their heads together trying to figure out, you know, what is it that I can do to get this guy a ticket before he leave, because he inconvenienced us so bad to the point to where we actually had to investigate and do our jobs that we have a headache right now. This guy was so, he felt so defeated that his feelings was hurt. You know, we talking about law enforcement officers, not the feelings enforcement, okay? Now, you heard the officer say 2 times, well, can I write him a ticket for interfering? I mean, you got 5 people out here, and it took all 5 of us to put our head together, and we couldn't come up with nothing. So can we write him a ticket for interfering at least? Please? Please, boss? The lieutenant didn't even say anything. He was like, you know. And see, that's why he's the lieutenant, because more than likely, you know, he has enough experience to know better just to try to trump up charges. And that's exactly what you just saw in this video. I mean, he know that more than likely it's probably not going to hold water. You know what I'm saying? And he never even really gave him the authorization to write the ticket. You saw he just walked off. And he probably just took it upon himself to say, you know what, I'm going to just still write him this ticket. You know, I mean, and, you know, this is the definition of egregious behavior, because somebody could get hurt behind this. Then, of course, the lieutenant said, well, you know, he's trying to prove something. You know, he's got his video going. He's on Facebook Live or something like that. How did you know I was on Facebook Live if you couldn't? You know, the other guy stated that they couldn't really see in the vehicle. The guy was like, well, I didn't want to really step forward, you know, toward the front part of the vehicle so that I could see him, especially without backup. Well, your backup came, and you still didn't really try to look through the crack to see who I was. You didn't step more forward to put yourself in a better position to see who I was. So if you're scared of being a cop, then why are you even out there, you know, and enforcing laws? You know what I'm saying? And again, you know, I'm now being put in a position to where I'm being held liable or being at fault for exercising my rights. Yes, I went live. I'm filming. I have a right to film. Nothing's wrong with that. You guys are filming and recording me. Okay. We're all in public view. Okay. You guys are welfare recipients. What's the problem? Of course, I'm trying to prove a point. I'm trying to prove that you can exercise your rights out there and not be harassed at the same time. But apparently not. So that's it's really my take on the video. Again, I'm going to post the entire video up probably a little bit later on. I'm actually thinking about starting a whole YouTube channel now based on these type of interactions. I don't know, man. I don't really go through this type of thing a lot, but when it happens, I'm like, you know what? Let me put it out there so people can kind of see, you know, how I responded to that type of police interaction, you know, or maybe somebody else has had this type of interaction with the police, and maybe they don't really know what to say. Maybe they don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? But if these type of interactions happen to you, you need to start reading, man. Start reading up on laws that pertain to you, okay? And whatever it is that you do, whatever your job is, your career, whatever, learn those laws and stand firm, okay? Don't let nobody try to bully you into something that you know that you don't legally have to do. I legally did not have to help them with their investigation. Okay, my job isn't to make it easier for the police to do their job. Their job is to investigate. And, you know, clearly none of them out there wanted to do it except for the lieutenant. The lieutenant took it upon himself to investigate. And then, you know, there was nothing that he even found that stated that I even had to show them proof that I was a private detective. Now, if I would have said I was law enforcement, or I had a uniform on that said law enforcement, or it was on my vehicle, then yeah, I would have got in trouble for that because I'm not law enforcement. But what I do is private. Okay, I'm private. My vehicle's private. I mean, it's nothing you can really tell me at that point. You know, so what you saw out there was a lot of ego tripping. Oh, just write them up. Let the judge deal with it. But you're law enforcement. It's your job to enforce laws. And if you don't know what those laws say in its entirety, you're a liability to yourself and the other people around you. Y'all let me know what y'all think.